formulation and kind of the research behind the product, and then where did that ultimately take you? I mean, obviously it took you to the end goal of producing a company, an entire product line, but what did those steps look like?
Well, after shock and anger, we started formulating our tinctures first, and discovered that a lot of people with the education didn't understand that just because a product doesn't cost $200 doesn't mean it's garbage. We still fight that.
Oh my gosh.
We still fight that. We have the exact
so
product.
True.
Yes, we have the exact same product at a much reduced price, and they're going, well, it's got to be trash. No, it doesn't. You know, I mean, you can either buy a Rolex or you can buy a Timex. You don't buy a Rolex because it tells time, or you'd only spend $8 at Walmart and you get yourself a watch, but they both tell time.
Right.
So our products are made with the exact same stuff as the $225 bottles. We have certificate of analysis to prove that it's what it says it is, and we still run up against that. Mm-hmm. So the second hard thing that we ran up against was everybody says, oh, it all tastes like cut grass and it tastes like dirt, and ours don't. So the flavor was the second obstacle that we overcame. And then we moved into, after that, we said, okay, well, things are becoming very popular and they're becoming more complicated. And my father asked me if I had a cream instead of a tincture. So I can make that. That's one of my famous sayings. Look at Kim's face. I can make that.
Yeah.
So,
can.
Is this
right?
is this kind of a running true thing whenever you two talk, and it's just like Sherry's just like, I can make that.
I can fix that.
Let's be real.
Like
let's be real. You've made the hardest.
I went, oh, I can fix. I can play with that.
Sherry, let's be real. You've made some of the hardest things that there are to make on this planet, you know, as a rocket technician. So I'm pretty sure that a tincture, I mean, obviously it's a different field, but you have that mentality of, hey, I know how to tackle these steps. There's no hurdle too big. I will get over it.
And it is it's a fabulous asset, and I love her for this. But when I first started talking to her, and I said, well, you know, send me over your product SKU list, and I can start to kind of digest what you guys have going on and what's happening. It was like 12 pages of SKUs. I was like, oh my God. How much warehouse space do you have?
I like to make things.
Yes, she does. And she's very good at it.
So actually, I remembered, Sherry, when you mentioned COAs, that was actually a point that I was going to have when I was talking about the 500 milligrams per bottle and the price and so on. And that was the second point that I was going to make there, but it totally mind blanked on it, was that even though it says 500 milligrams, it's been proven through a bunch of different tests that most of those products do not have what they say they have in them. Obviously, things are changing now with some states requiring certain things, and obviously just more legitimate businesses in the space, such as yourself, selling products where you test everything. But that was a big issue. It says 500 milligrams, they're selling it for $100, and it only has 25 milligrams. Maybe they forgot to infuse that bottle. I don't know. Crazy. So what I was going to ask, with the formulation, that step, when you started creating the products, were you working with a lab, a processing facility, farmers? You don't have to say specifically who you're working with, but I'm assuming from a rocket technician to formulating products that you were working with some experts in the space.
I actually did 99% of my own research.
Okay.
I looked at all the bottles and I looked at it and I went, okay, so 1,000 milligrams. Yep, that's easy enough. So I sourced some organic grown hemp farms in the United States and settled on one out of Colorado. Talked to them, told them what I needed. I needed one that would dissolve, at a certain temperature. And they said, we can do that. So I took the price of that, and then I found some organic MCT oil that was resourceable and responsible. And I knew, okay, so I need 30 mLs of this and I need 0.75 mLs of that, and I need, so I formulated it, and then I put it all together, and it worked.
Yeah. And then the next
Following
formulation,
a
and then
recipe.
I was saying, then the next formulation, and the next product, and the next product. Did you do that with all of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
First,
that's
I
a
think
very
of
cool
what I
process.
want,
Well, I
like
mean,
a lotion, and then I just go, I find what I want, and then I go, okay, so I want some of this in it, and I want it to do that, and I want it to do the other thing. And I say, okay, so I'm going to need some humectants, I'm going to need some emulsifiers, and so, I just created a recipe. And then when everything gets all made, it goes into the timeout box where it sits, at a standard temperature and
the
light for,
timeout box.
yeah. So it sits for 2 weeks, and then we heat it up, and it sits again. And, to make sure that it all comes out, it's all nice and even, and its pH works, and then once it comes out of the timeout box, if it's exactly like it was going in, then we're good to go. We send it out for testing, and then I tell Kim, I got another one.
Nice. Well,